I know we have been lately for every race weekend talking about a surprise performance from Mercedes, but this time it actually might come to fruition. We are now settling at Brazil for the Brazilian Grand Prix, which was a dominant hunting ground for the Silver Arrows in 2022, if you can recall. And with second place in both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships still up for grabs, the British duo with the upgraded W14 would like to replicate that same result from 2022 this weekend. And with what we have seen from the W14 at Austin and Mexico, I think that there is a high chance of Mercedes stealing Red Bull's thunder at Brazil. But is that all practically possible? Well, let's find out. When you compare the W14 from Bahrain and the W14 at Mexico, we can for sure say that Mercedes are picking up the pieces properly, improving the W14 as the season has progressed. These broken pieces go back to 2022, where they completely misinterpreted the regulations, following a flawed philosophy under Mike Elliott's guidance. But since Allison's takeover from last April as technical director, the team has slowly but surely moved forwards in the right direction. The biggest progress was seen at Austin, where the team introduced a new floor philosophy, which the team believes is the proper direction to follow for 2024. That can directly be seen from Hamilton's performance in the last couple of races, consecutively achieving P2 finishes. If you are to disregard the Austin disqualification, which is now proved to be nothing but setup errors. After the Mexican Grand Prix with Perez yet another DNF, Hamilton has closed down the gap to second place in the championship to just 20 points. Hamilton has already set a goal for this and next season, finish P2 in both championships, carry the momentum into 2024 and challenge Red Bull from lap 1. But is this actually possible? Well, Mercedes now have about the second fastest car on the grid, while they started the season with the fourth fastest. With upgrades, they have moved forwards, not like Aston Martin, which also has brought upgrades but has fallen back massively in the development race. So with the progress the Silver Arrows have shown, it is possible. And the 7-time world champion also thinks the same. Honestly, I just wasn't expecting that today. And it's just always a great feeling when you're putting one foot in front of the other and just progressing. The weekend had been really difficult compared to the last race where we just kind of hit the road, hit the ground running. This weekend was really digging deep to try and get the setup right, Hamilton explained his race to Sky Sports. When talking about the championship, he went on to say, "It's mostly dependent on Checo's weekends, really. They have the championship winning car, so, he's just been unfortunate, I think, in some scenarios. Obviously, I've lost quite a lot of points in the last 2 races, but he lost points today, so it swings in roundabouts." Hamilton added, "I think coming into the weekend, having lost the points last week, I didn't think I would really be in shooting range particularly. But after today, we'll just give it our best shot." Brazil is hosting yet another sprint weekend, and a sprint gives the drivers an opportunity to score a maximum of 34 points. So this could be the weekend where we could see Hamilton dislodging Perez from the P2 spot. James Allison has for some time now talking about the importance for the team to secure second in both championships. And with a record of winning at least a single race every season hanging on the line, the Mercedes tech genius believes that Brazil could be a race where they could once again lodge a win, similar to 2022. When talking about this matter before the Mexican race weekend, Allison went on to say, "Brazil, a race that we won last year to our massive pleasure, is a track where, again, all the things we just put on the car should pay good dividends for us." When it comes to predictions about Mercedes' performance of certain race weekends, Allison's predictions have been spot on, as his prediction for Mexico was correct. From keeping the car cool up to managing tires, Allison talked about all those and how Mercedes would perform if those were tackled. So looking at Brazil, a similar track to Mexico, except for the reduction of altitude, should actually present one of Hamilton or Russell a legitimate shot at race victory on pure merit. The biggest challengers to that race victory would be Max Verstappen and Red Bull easily. But if we consider the track record of Verstappen and Red Bull at Brazil, this is not a circuit that actually has favored them. In 2021, Hamilton, being disqualified from qualifying, was able to take victory from Verstappen, making nearly 25 overtakes on track. In 2022, after the collision both the Briton and Dutchman had, Hamilton was able to recover his race and take a P2 finish, while Verstappen was way off the pace of both Hamilton and Russell. That shows that Brazil might actually be a bogey track or an Achilles heel for both Red Bull and Max Verstappen. Alongside that, considering the dominance Hamilton has had over the rest of the field in the past couple of races at Interlagos, and with him now being an honorary citizen of Brazil, that just motivates him to perform at his best, to end the drought of race wins. Another factor that proves in favor of the 7-time world champion is the gap that Hamilton has put on Russell in the past 2 races. Russell has brushed off any concern from his side of the garage, pointing out slight mishaps in race strategy costing him performance compared to his teammate. But that is just positive energy for Hamilton, one that Russell might want to put a full stop at the upcoming race. That means both drivers are fired up to put their best performance, which only brings that crucial first race win of the season for Mercedes that much closer. Chauvelin, in the team's latest race debrief video, talked about the team's chances at Brazil. Chauv pointed out that they feel that the team has a good chance of showing great pace, but has eyes on the sprint format, which throws a lot of variables in. Great result with George last year, and then an absolutely memorable race with Lewis from the back in 2021. However, we've seen that from track to track, things can be quite different. We can't assume that we're going to go there and perform well, and we also know that the field's incredibly tight now. Throw into the mix, it's a sprint race. So with a sprint race is a lot more jeopardy. You've got 2 qualifying sessions to get right. You've got 1 hour to try and get the car set up exactly where you need it, which if you start in the right place, you can do. If you're in the wrong place, it's very, very challenging. So ultimately, we have our eyes wide open, but we're looking forward to the track. All points we talked about until now are all in favor of the Silver Arrows, pointing out at a positive outing at Brazil. But there is one X factor which we would like to pour attention as well. That is the unpredictable nature of the W14. 2 years into this era of regulations, the unpredictability is just one thing that Mercedes has not been able to get to the bottom of. Hamilton praised the W14's performance at Austin, but mentioned that the car was night and day after his first outing at Mexico. This is something which could hamper the team's chances at Brazil, considering that the team has only an hour to set up the car properly, to prepare for the sprint and race sessions. But that is something that the engineers should take care of, and if they can work their magic on the car, I am sure Hamilton and Russell will make their magic work on track. Toto Wolff had his fair share of opinion to share, as he expects his team to put a decent show, considering that the W14 is much stronger than the W13 ever was. I think obviously the longer you have the upgrade on the car and collect data, the better you're going to be able to tune it, Wolff told the media. I don't want to set the expectations high, because last year came as a little bit of a surprise that we dominated that weekend. So I think we have to go there knowing we have a good car. If we put all the ducks in one line, then I think we can have a very strong weekend. Whether it's good enough to beat Max, their package, driver car power, and is just very complete. So what do you guys think? What chances do you think Mercedes have on winning the race going to Brazil? With having seen the grid performance at Mexico, what would be your predictions for the podium runners at Brazil? Very much into your thoughts and perspectives in the comments section down below. And on your way down, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get notified of our future uploads to keep yourselves up to date about the 2023 Formula One season.